Alright, so we lost the caster, but we are in the game. Sir Schmeckles on the left side of the screen in the orange color playing the Byzantines against Komyn playing the Ayyubids, starting off with a mill on the berries as you should, Ayyubids. A very berry hungry civ, but not very much or very many berries on the map actually. So there's a couple berries here, and then there's a patch over here. So not a whole lot. And then okay, and there's one more here. For the Byzantines, it's also very nice berry spawn here. One on the left side here, and then there's one more here on the right side. No, furthermore down the left. So if you're looking at the Grand Winery opening, you could have it either like very close and safe underneath your TC, losing a little bit of space, or you go a little bit more out on the map, a little bit more on the left side, or somewhere in the middle. Like there's a couple options. So we'll see what he will choose to go for. House of Wisdom, of course, being started with the Ayyubids as well. 7-2 split on gold and food right now. Yeah, isn't that right? This is where the actual fun is happening. And so 7-3, so very standard opening for both players at the moment. Let's take a very quick look at scouting. So Schmeckles went all the way in the middle. He found all the sacred sites already, so that's yeah. If he wants to go for that, that's very nice to find that. And then he's just making his way back, trying to find some more sheep. Also trying to figure out where his extended resources would be, where his other gold and stone would be, the other berries that he's looking for. And on the other side, we have Komyn also kind of making his way all around the base and then scouting out the Byzantine base, found the gold, found the berries. So both players having a pretty good idea of where they could attack, but at the same time very safe bases as well. So gold in the back, berries not too far in front at least, two wood lines easily to wall it off. Kind of the same for Byzantines here, to wall it off with the two wood lines, gold on the back, berries in the back. Just what you'd love to see. So they could both be very defensively, and Grand Winery being opened here on the berries, so kind of where I expected it to be. Yes, it's losing us a little bit of space here on the right side, but that is only really gonna matter in the late game, and for now it's gonna be a very safe spot for him. And we do have the camel riders coming, the desert raiders, excuse me, coming up. So military wing being the first choice here for the Ayyubids. Pretty standard opener, yeah, enables him to be aggressive on the goal, to make sure that you delay the Byzantines' castle age as much as possible. You also force him to drop a tower here to protect his berries. So overall, a very good opening for the Ayyubids. Okay, so it looks like we got our caster back, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I just had to reset my computer after crashing out.
Yeah,
but
so
let me
pretty wild.
So let me join in and sync up with you. But you take it away. I'll jump in once I'm caught up.
Yeah, so we just had the opening with looking at the base, scouting pattern, map layout, or like base layout a little bit. And we're 4 minutes into the game. Sir Schmeckles has reached the feudal age already, so good timing here for the Byzantines with the Grand Winery. Pulled all the villagers there as well, so pretty heavy on food with the berries, getting his oil production up as fast as possible. Starting with a barracks though, so no mercenary house for now, which is a safe choice. It keeps him flexible in terms of what he want to go for, whether he wants to go for the longbows or the Kashik. And Ayyubids with an outpost on gold, so expecting some early aggression. Ayyubids also want to protect their fast castle as well, so Barry's almost depleted here. So he's not gonna look for the economic wing for now at least, because otherwise he wouldn't have, like, yeah, depleted all the berries. So just looking for a general fast castle Ayyubid play. First Desert Raider is on the way as well. Well, so Barcelona, if you're looking for like this kind of matchup, it's basically both players like to go fast castle with minimal aggression. So the Desert Raiders are going to be the way of aggression for the Ayyubids, and the Byzantines usually go for some mercenaries, for example, Kashik, and then they don't need to really, divert from what they're doing otherwise, and they can still be very aggressive, and then just hit castle, get the relics, get their upgrades, and then hit potentially with the cataphracts. So overall, just protect your castle age. That's the thing like that you want to do. Desert Raider has been attacking already, so Schmeckles needs to retreat from the gold actually, which is gonna be not too good for him. Let's put it this way.
Yeah, I'm finally synced up with you. Coming in, I just noticed, yeah, Sir Schmeckles really has nobody on the gold right now. All those vills being moved over. So if he was thinking about some sort of fast castle play, that is certainly going to be delayed. And Komyn just about there for the castle age up. And I mean, those Desert Raiders, that's why it's kind of a classic choice if you're going to play fast castle as the Ayyubids. Get those Desert Raiders on the field, put just a tiny bit of pressure on your opponent, try to throw them off a bit, put the pressure on their side of the map, and then you're free to just take Castle Age safely. And we see Komyn going up right now with the advancement wing.
Yeah, no, not a big surprise here, as I mentioned earlier. So economic wing would have been a good option if he would have, not taken all the berries immediately. So the next best choice is the advancement wing, a very cheap upgrade. So it is a lot cheaper than it usually would be to go up to either age if he decides to go for the advancement wing. And yeah, the good thing about Desert Raiders, I think especially against Byzantines, but for most civs in general, is they are ranged, but they can also go in melee form if they need to, so they're good against the Limitani. They also have the Camel on East, and so they will debuff the Kashik or the Horseman if Sir Schmeckles is going for a very feudal aggression kind of gameplay. We do see that he went for the Western contract with the longbows actually, so Limitani longbow comp for the moment. And so this is gonna hurt the Desert Raiders. They are gonna have a pretty difficult time against the longbows. But then again, Komyn is hitting Castle Age, so he doesn't really, yeah, I don't think he's afraid at the situation right now.
Yeah, I don't think he is. I mean, Sir Schmeckles needs to get over to Komyn's base as soon as possible. We do see that first barracks getting rushed down from Komyn. The military count is, I mean, Komyn has absolutely nothing, just those two Desert Raiders providing a little protection. But the first barracks is down. He's going to try to get Gulam out. Komyn needs to do damage here before... Sorry, Schmeckles needs to do damage here before Komyn can get any sort of massive Gulam outside the base. And we see second barracks as well on the way, so the switch is in. Longbow's looking for targets, but not going to find much of anything, and it's not looking that great.
No, it's very difficult for him, and as you mentioned, like he has a very short window where he can actually now try to punish Komyn for his kind of greedy fast castle play. But the window is definitely closing. We have two barracks right now. Gulam's the perfect choice in this situation. Pretty effective against the Limitani, which are, I mean, they're better spearmen, but they're still just spearmen at the end of the day. And then also very tanky against the longbows, and as long as they can close the gap, they can deal quite a lot of damage actually to the longbows, which are not very tanky units, of course. And so definitely a good unit choice, and Sir Schmeckles doesn't really have an answer to Gulams at the moment for sure.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get Castle Age himself to find that, and he's not far away at all. Just needs a little bit more gold, but I'm a little uncertain about the army position for Sir Schmeckles. It seems like it's, just a little too far forward. I think he has to know at this point that Komyn has Gulams, and now we see a retreat going back, because that's a fairly slow army. The longbows and spears, like a classic, English style army, where it moves slow across the map. And Schmeckles may have been in a position, if there were enough Gulam, that he could have gotten completely wiped there, but Komyn was waiting to mass. He's got 6 on the field now, and he's making the call to head out at this point. Schmeckles, though, with his army still in the middle of the map, not doing much of anything. If he needs them to defend, they should be back at the base and not just in the center here.
Yeah, I mean it is difficult for him to, like, there's no scout here nearby, so he does have a little bit of vision at least, but yeah, he can't contest that. So if they would fight, my money would be on the Gulams for sure here. And yeah, you can see they're closing the gap here. I mean, they are slightly faster than the longbows. And yeah, so Schmeckles needs to buy this time. He is reaching Castle Age now with the Golden Horn Tower, so he just needs to delay this fight as much as possible, get his upgrade, which is not very expensive actually, to get the veteran contract, get his upgrades maybe then even for the Limitani, or switch into Varangian Guards as well. Which he could do. I mean, the Varangian Guards, they have some interesting options to deal with units. Let's put it this way, you know, with their ferocious speed, technology. But I mean, then again, you need a ton of research to do and resources to do that, and so he needs to have time as much as possible, and that time is not really in his favor. Like, we can see this one Gulam chasing down the villagers, one being killed already. He could pop the Architoid defense, but that's not really dealing too much damage.
Yeah, not going to do much at this point. I mean, it's pretty interesting. I think Schmeckles taking his army around the outside instead of just retreating to the town center. I mean, he just needed to pull back, let some of that static defense provide some damage onto those Gulam while he could try to get some sort of crossbow mass up. But his army kind of led the Gulam to the berries on the outside. And those Gulam were able to just engage with all of the units that were out there. We see Vils going to garrison now, but it just feels like it's too late at this point.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's too late, and the thing is, like, with the crossbows, you do need the resources for that, and he doesn't have the gold right now, he doesn't have the food, like, he basically has no villagers working right now. Well, yeah, I mean, why not crossbows? He does have crossbows, it's like a couple ones, like, we see 3 crossbows, 1 more in the queue. But he just reached castle way too late, and then there was just no time. And like now you can see the crossbows, they're dealing fairly well with the Gulams. But just the time that he lost, the idle time right now, he's down in 15 villagers. I mean, like, even if he drops the second TC somehow, which as Byzantines you can kind of do more easily because of the stone that you get by constructing buildings. Like, even with a second TC, it would take
not gonna help. Take a look at the bottom of the map, though.
Yeah.
His Vils are getting caught out. Yeah, on that berry.
Goodness. Like,
and
Komyn, please have mercy. Like, this is not how you deal with a friend. Like, okay, I can't look at this anymore.
Not very friendly today. I think the mercy is that Komyn has stopped streaming in the Gulam, afraid that Schmeckles might have a massive crossbows, but he only has 3, so he's providing some mercy here, getting the Vil kills on the deer. Schmeckles just sending more units over.
Oh, this is so painful. Yeah, the thing is, like yes, so Schmeckles was able to kill most of the army that Komyn had at the time, but if you're looking at destroy value, he's not that far ahead. So I mean, yes, he did kill a lot, but he also lost a lot. Not including the villagers. Like, even if you discount the villagers completely, it's still like a very even trade for Komyn. And so, like, okay, we haven't looked at the Abbasid Ayyubid base actually. So like, we see 2 mosques there. So he's going for the dervishes. He got 1 mosque already. The second one is gonna, like, he's picking up the second one as we speak. Then there's like 3 more, all on his side of the base. So he is looking definitely for 4, maybe 5 relics, I would say, if he continues in this pace. Going for a little bit of
he can have all the relics. He can have everything on the map. There's nothing
my
I think this game is just completely over at this point.
Oh yeah, no,
Komyn can take whatever he wants, but I don't think Schmeckles is gonna hold. Still only has 2 crossbows. There's just no answer to the 13 Gulam.
he lost a lot of crossbows somehow. He was up to at least 5 or 6, but he probably apparently lost all of them. And yeah, no, the thing is like it's definitely over. I'm not contending that. I'm just like trying to figure out like what he could do and what his possible window to win this could be. But I don't see any because yeah, again like. Komyn will get 5 relics, which will give him a very comfortable gold income. Not to mention he can go for a sacred size as well, so he could have at least those 2, the one in his base and then the one in the middle. And then as long as he keeps, you know, streaming units in, he'll definitely hold the second one, and then he eventually could take the third one as well. So really tough spot for Sir Schmeckles. He just lost like half of his eco due to this extended fight and. Like, yeah, I really don't see any way for him to come back from this. Unless Komyn makes some major mistakes, but like on this high level I don't see that happening actually. We do have some Landsknechts in the mix here as well, so the Western contract, sorry that was not it, the Western contract providing longbows but then also Landsknechts, and later on it would also be Streltsies. I
don't even know what the Landsknechts are going to be used for. I mean, it's like Gulam, they're not gonna do any damage into that. I mean, at least the 5 longbows can shoot from afar, but Landsknechts aren't really a frontline unit. I would say they're like glass cannon AOE melee damage. We got another raid coming in. Oh, to Sir Schmeckles gold in the back.
Yeah, I mean I kind of understand why he's going for them. The issue for him is, like, he doesn't have any Varangian guards on. So usually what you see, like where we would see the Landsknechte, is in the HAE army where you have the massively tanky men-at-arms and then like sprinkled in a few of the Landsknechts, and then they do like magic basically. Then they really do work. But if you're not having the Varangian guards, so like the men-at-arms equivalent or the Gulam equivalent in this case, you don't really have the front line. And if you're looking at the army, like not mentioning that his army value is like 1/3 almost of the Ayyubids, like there's no way how they can they can really like effectively work. And he's getting one more set apparently. So
yeah, he's invested into it. I don't know if that's coming out. It's coming out of the Golden Horn. So
okay, never mind. Okay.
Not his choice, but. Still, Komyn, I don't know what's going on with him. He's given Sir Schmeckles so much time to, like, try to remass. I don't think it's gonna work at all, but Komyn not ending the game, instead trying to get the Sacred Site timer going.
I mean, at least Sir Schmeckles is gonna get one of the relics, which... if he puts it into a Grand Winery, which he doesn't have any other way of putting it or like, you know, where to put it anyway, it will provide him with a little bit more oil income, so that's gonna be 80 more oil per minute for him, which is it's gonna feel nice, but like, you know, nice is not gonna win him the game. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's Komyn's tendency to play passive right now on Basin that's just letting him have any sort of shot at doing anything here. Finally, we see the move back into crossbows, but I mean, the Ayyubids army, like the difference in army value is insane. Komyn just content to expand on the map and not, you know, win.
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy to me that Komyn is in such a heavy lead, like for the last 10 minutes at least, and he's not really doing a whole lot with that. But I mean, then again, like he's probably like, I can play it safe now. I definitely did my damage early on, and then also, I mean, like if we're switching sides, he doesn't like right now he's here in the base, but he doesn't know anything about like what's happening in here. It's all in the dark for him, and so he maybe just overestimates the Byzantines at this point, because I mean they are very strong, you know, so they can deal a lot of damage and mass up units quite nicely. And so he's probably just yeah, overestimating that a little bit and not really knowing what's happening here. And then also he can take it slow, like he's taking the gold here on the map, going for a second town center, getting some more stone. So at some point he'll probably drop like a keep here, get that stone as well, and then just slowly move it forward and just, you know, like suffocate his opponent in a way, which can sometimes be very satisfying, you know. So I don't blame him, you know. It's like, and he's moving out, so we're gonna see like what's gonna happen, like in terms of military upgrades. They're almost even, and I think the one saving grace for Sir Schmeckles might be that Komyn doesn't have a whole lot of ranged units actually. And so it could be difficult for him to actually snipe out the Landsknecht. So we're gonna see like what's gonna happen pretty soon.
Yeah, they're about to engage. I just think the game seems to have been over about 10-15 minutes ago. We'll see if it's gonna end here. Here's the defense from Sir Schmeckles. Limitani lining up at the gate to take all that damage from the Ghulams. There are archers in the back for Komyn looking to snipe out crossbows, but the crossbows and longbows are further back, and I mean, Sir Schmeckles is actually gonna win that fight.
Oh, wow.
Off on the side. I mean, he's open in the front, but
yeah, there's a horseman,
crazy.
some desert raiders here in the front, but other than that, like, and yeah, now you can see like he messed up a lot of ranged units, and now he can easily snipe down the Landsknecht, so they can not really do anything here. So the longbows were kind of needed here to contend with that, but overall, I mean, like let's switch back here into the regular view. I mean, if we're looking at destroy value, it's massively in favor for Sir Schmeckles right now. So his eco is way, like, still way behind, but in terms of what he actually achieved with that fight is massive for him. It definitely gave him a little bit of time.
Very surprising that he could stay in there. I mean, he's still got Vils coming out of that main base area, still under threat. I mean, Sir Schmeckles doesn't have map control. He was just able to hold, surprisingly, but
yeah, now he's overextending.
If turns his production on,
yeah,
he's gonna just run him through. I mean, Komyn floating so much gold right now. Just needs to spend that, get units on the field, and actually just close this out.
Yeah, and you can see like the classic mistake that happens, like to all of us, I guess, is that Sir Schmeckles won the fight, and now he pushed forward trying to find, like, you know, like some more, and he just overextended, lost a lot of units now to the horsemen, and now we have the army of Komyn in his base again. A lot of archers here and a couple horsemen, so not a whole lot of variety here, but I mean perfect to deal with the longbows and with the Limitani and with the crossbows as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was a surprising hold from Schmeckles, but it really is not going to matter in the long run of things. You take a look at just the difference in eco. I mean, Komyn can just remass another army, and Schmeckles cannot.
Yeah, we just saw that a couple minutes ago when Sir Schmeckles was trying to push out. Like he barely recovered from the fight, and Komyn was there with like the second wave already and had like as much units as he had before. His army value is still like 3-4 times as much. Oh, sorry, as with as Sir Schmeckles has, and so. Yeah, now like just way into his base, trying to snipe everything. The Mangonel Tower here really doing a lot of work here again. I just love this outpost so much when you know, like upgraded with the Mangonel placement.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how much damage that's been doing. Komyn just leaving units in range of that, kind of getting his attacking force thinned out a bit, but it just doesn't matter. I mean, there's really no path for Schmeckles back into this, and we finally get that GG. Komyn taking game 1 here on Byzan.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty crazy. Like I don't see any way. Like, yeah, it's and the thing is like also. like you could see that he was only on level 3 cistern. Usually at that point you would love to be at level 4, maybe even on 5. And so you just see like his eco was disrupted like so hard. And
Well, yeah, if you take a look at the villager graph, I
yeah,
mean, it was over after that first Gulam push. Komyn just didn't actually close the game out, but there was no coming back for Schmeckles at that point.
yeah, and I mean like yeah, this one fight here, he like what? I mean, that was like, was it this fight here? I think like where like he kind of won in a way, but like even then, like it
Yeah,
felt like he won, but in terms of value, it was still like way in favor for Komyn, and he had like all his units like in the back, and they were just like coming into the front at the moment, and so like he went forward and then just lost everything, and so. Uh, yeah, I think it was like this one here. Like lost a little bit and lost like almost everything, and yeah, with like three times more eco units, like what you gonna do? Like there's no way for you to come back from that one. And we're going into the game, and there it is. Is it gonna be on the right side? No, we need to switch the score real quick. Okay, but we're in game. Flip score. So now it should be correct. Yep. Alright, so game 2 in our best of 3 first series in Warchief Club. Sir Schmeckles again in orange, playing the Abbasid this time. On the right side of the map of Lipony, going on berries first, House of Wisdoms, gold, very very standard stuff. Roos starting off with 1 hunting cabin, and then potentially, okay, there's the second one, so 2 hunting cabin, opener. Yeah, so
yeah, I'm not surprised to see that. I mean, I've faced a lot of Roos on this map with that opening with the 2 hunting cabins. Schmeckles picking the Abbasid Dynasty on Lipany. Always a little stronger map for them with the additional berries and the cliffs providing a potentially more defensible position to get your eco up and online. We'll see. We'll see which way the Roos want to go with it. Whether or not it's going to be, some early feudal aggression to get some damage and delay additional town center and additional eco, or if it is just going to be that fast castle Roos going to jump right up to the castle age with the golden gate. I mean, Komyn playing fast castle in the previous game. He may just choose to stick with that strategy. He may be a fast castle kind of player here. Remains to be seen.
yeah, definitely. And so in terms of the map layout here, we have a lot of stone in the back of Abbasid's base, so that's gonna be very nice for them if they want to go for a couple more TCs. There's berries on the left side, a little bit further on the front as well, so if he wants to protect his gold, he could also push out to the berries here. For Roos, it seems like a little bit like exposed resources. Nothing really close to his TC actually. The berries in the front, like not really interesting to Roos, but still. And then there's gold at some point he needs to go to. But even the stone is like everything's outside of his TC range here. So pretty wild spawn for Roos, I would say. We have 2 scouts for now, so it doesn't really look to me like he's going for a heavy pro scout play. He found a ton of sheep, so that's gonna push him into the castle age without taking any gold. In addition to the 2 hunting cabins, the golden gate coming up. So the
Yeah,
save.
it's gonna be Golden Gate versus Eco Wing. Not a huge surprise. Abbasid's looking to get the Eco Wing going. I mean, it's just so hard with those military wing units to deal any damage to Roos early game. Especially, they don't have to go out on the gold. They can play super defensive. They're going to have a wooden tower on their wood line, a wooden fortress, excuse me, to buff that up. So, not super surprised with the Eco Wing pick here.
No, no, not at all. I mean, it is like probably at least one of the best choices for the Abbasid. I mean, in some situations, the military wing could potentially be better. It really depends. Like, if, for example, if you're playing against a Mongol Tower Rush, then the military wing might be the better choice. But in general, like in most cases, I would say eco wing is the best choice that you could go for. As long as you can hold it for a little bit, and then once it kicks off, it's pretty hard to stop the Abbasid. And the thing with the Golden Gate is Rus can actually get a very good town center time for a second town center if they want to go for it with the Golden Gate. Actually very easily contesting the Abbasids, at least for a while. And so I could imagine we're gonna see a 2TC into Pro Scout play. So Komyn went into 3 Scouts at by now. And so yeah, definitely could look for Pro Scouts into a second TC.
With the Rus?
With the Rus, yeah. I mean, I've seen that before. It definitely could work if you. Yeah, if you're trying to contest the multiple TC Abbasid, you could definitely go for that. I don't know if you will though. I'm just saying, like, that's impossible. That's an option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can still trade for that stone. It just doesn't work as perfectly as it used to. Back before TCs cost 350 stone, when they were only 300, you get that double click in there on the Golden Gate. Never have to move out to mine stone and just drop that second TC. I mean, we are going to see the Pro Scout play. That's for sure. The Scouts waiting near the deer pack outside the Abbasid's base. Schmeckles, though, got his second TC up and coming.
Yeah, undetected, by the way. So Schmeckles, Komyn is not aware of that. I mean, he, in a way, you can guess, like on this high level, like as I said earlier, with like here's the gold, there's the berries. I mean, this is something that the Abbasid will want to protect at some point. There's the second gold, so this is gonna be the gold that Abbasid will take, like throughout the most of the game, at least for up to castle, maybe early Imperial even. And so this is something that they want to go to protect. And then the town center here makes a lot of sense, so you don't even need to scout it necessarily in order to know that it's happening. And now he scouted it anyway, so as it's getting built, Komyn is aware of the second TC. What is he doing though? That's the question. So we have the wooden fortress, as you mentioned, to buff the wood line, the wood production. Hasn't taken any tickets, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't think he's taken any tickets so far. It does seem could be looking to sell potentially some of that food for the gold. No movement out onto gold. It is Rus. Just letting those 2 hunting cabins do the work. Pro Scouts will be scouted out by Sir Schmeckles. You can see a little engagement there. Scout on scout action. Schmeckles is not going to be able to stop any of that.
Yeah, I mean, the scouts, they do 10 extra damage against other scouts, and so I've actually seen, you know, if it's more than 1 scout, you can actually fairly well contest it, and then you might have to drop the deer. But in general, yeah, like they can also just turn around, and then you have like 5 against 1, which never is great. And so definitely cannot really contest it. He can't prevent that from happening. He is going for a 3rd TC, so he did mine enough stone, just a little bit over chop here basically, but like very close. Going for a 3rd TC, no 4th for now, which
and Komyn spent his tickets.
He did.
We got a high trade house. Yeah, 3 TCs for Abbasid.
All right.
Knowing that the pressure's not going to be in on him with Pro Scouts. So, free to go 3 TC. But now with Komyn switching gears into Castle, as those deer come back, as that ticket was spent at the Golden Gate, Schmeckles needs to figure out what his game plan is going to be this time around with an opponent that gets to Castle before you.
Yeah, it's and as you mentioned, like, so Komyn with the Ayyubids, of course he went. Okay, never mind. Okay, that was quite funny. Both scouts just hitting each other. Oh, those poor horses. This is I love the animation here. This looks awesome. But yeah, as we're watching the scouts get at each other, Komyn is reaching Castle Age with the high trade house. How much is he getting from that? So 35 trees. That's not too bad. I mean,
Yeah, it's a decent spot.
on a map like
I
that,
don't know
like
where else.
it's hard to, yeah, like you could have gone for like some very extended down in the back of the map, getting the straggler trees, like the stealth forest as well, but that's not really. I don't think that's really worth it. And then you also like you want to get the deer here as well, and so it's nice to have it closer to your base anyway. Um, and so yeah, he went for fast castle with Ayyubids, he went for fast castle with Rus, so we do see a little pattern here. And now he's moving into stables. We'll get some knights out on the field. Getting met by the military wing though, so Sir Schmeckles not too far behind, going for the military
Yeah.
wing now. And so yeah, we're gonna see, like, if you look at the military, no, the villager numbers, we're only like 16, 17 behind, and it's been like not even 10 minutes. So it's as long as Sir Schmeckles can pump out villagers, he should be able to contest the knights very soon.
Yeah, he does have the eco lead this time. It's double barracks on the field. First spear is out right now. They are hardened. I was a little nervous that they were going to be Dark Age spears.
Oh yeah.
Knight's going to do whatever damage he can, but Komyn's going heavy into Knights, and so when military wing hits, those two camel riders going to pop right out. Really going to help Schmeckles deal with the Knights. Those spears just need to keep the defense up for the time being, and Schmeckles is palisaded walled off the back of his base, so he's kind of forced Komyn to take one path in, and I don't think it looks bad for him. Certainly looks a lot better going into Castle than it did the first game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, last time it was kind of like an emergency Castle Age rush, and then I'm also personally not the greatest fan of the Golden Horn Tower, but I mean that's, you know, it's a preference anyway. But this time around looks very strong here. A good equal lead for sure right now. I mean, he did lose a couple villages, but I mean, if you're on 3TC Abbasid, you don't really care about a couple villages lost. And now he's getting the upgrades for Spearman. He should get that very soon. He's now going for a wheelbarrow, so kind of delayed wheelbarrow for now. But then also, like, with the military wing, he's gonna have access to the boost camp as well, which is gonna buff the Spearman furthermore. So he now just needs to master up a little bit, because we have quite a lot of knights on the field already.
Yeah, they're coming in. I've got 7 Vil kills so far, but the number of spears are growing as well. And we do see a little tech switch from Komyn here. Adding an archery range in. Triple stable, 1 range. But right now, Schmeckles is actually defending this, and Komyn can't quite engage. I mean, the knights are just being chased around. Schmeckles has got spears, crossbows, and a couple of camel riders, and that's good enough to defend here.
Yeah, and the thing is also, and so I personally really don't like the horse archers. I've never really, like, rarely seen it work. And the reason for that is, so we have a couple of camels here on the field for the Abbasid, which with their camel unease, they deal, like, they decrease the damage that the knights and the horse archers will do. And then also the horse archers, yeah, they have a pretty high base damage, but they don't deal bonus damage against spearmen. And so they're basically gonna be like a lot weaker than they should be as well with the knights. And then, like, just look at the damage that the knights are just taking here. The crossbow is doing a lot of damage as well, so a really good composition here for Sir Schmeckles with spearman mass and then a couple of crossbows and camels behind. Just needs to be careful that he's not overextending here again, but other than that, like, very good. You can see the damage, like 20% damage decrease is quite a lot if you look at it.
Yeah, it certainly adds up. I think the camel rider's still up there. Okay, I thought that was the last one for a second, but it is not. And yeah, Komyn starting to add those horse archers. I was a little nervous with that one range at first. I was, because the only way the archers are really effective is if you can get that big mass of them. One range wasn't going to cut it. But he's added some additional ranges at this point. And now he's really ramped up production. It looks like he's fully tech switching over to horse archers, horsemen. The knights aren't cutting it right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. Like, we're still seeing the pro scouts at work here, taking one deer after another. There's not really a whole lot left here, but he's still like diligently at work here. So very nice here by Komyn microing his scout at the same time. He only lost one in the over the course of the whole game so far. And while we're like all like engaged here in the battle and stuff, he took one of the sacred sites. He took 4 relics. The 5th one is somewhere. Like, he's taken the 5th one as well. And so he'll be sitting on 5. There it is, on 5 sacred relics, taking the 2nd sacred site right now. So in terms of gold income for the Rus, like, very, very nice here.
Yeah, I'm nervous. I don't know if it's gonna be enough. Komyn needs to do some damage here. Abbasid gonna continue to scale from those 3 TC, getting their farm transition in. We've got a little back and forth in front of the Abbasid base. The spears don't want to commit. They're running back. Now they turn around. The horse archers should do decently as long as they're able to keep distance from the spears. And they're not. Letting the spears jump right on top right as veterancy comes in.
Yeah, and then we at the same time we do have there was like a little bit of an overchop here with the palisade walls, and there were 4 knights of the Rus getting in and killing quite a lot of villagers as well, doing a lot of damage there. And so he is gonna get cleaned up, and there's just a couple of horsemen here in the back, but the town center will take care of that. So overall, that's like a very good fight in terms of military for Sir Schmeckles. But at the same time, very good for Komyn in terms of how many villagers he killed already. 29 at the time.
He's got 29. He's got a lot of idle eco going right now, but Sir Schmeckles still has basically a 20 vil lead. Able to continue to hold on. Gonna lose a couple more vils on that palisade wall. Komyn doing the right thing, getting the sacred sites. Gonna have to force the Abbasid to move out eventually. But man, he just doesn't look comfortable with those horse archers. They've stayed too far forward a number of times, letting the spears get in on them.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, again, like, they're not doing bonus damage against the spearmen, but the spearmen, of course, do bonus damage against them. And so, with regular archers, you can kind of just, you know, like, hold your ground if you need to and fight against the spearmen. But with the horse archers, you can definitely not do that. And so, yeah, just a couple of reasons why I don't really like them. I mean, the mobility is awesome. Like, in this kind of composition, they do work because you have the knights, you have horsemen, and you have the horse archers. So just a lot of cavalry composition. You don't have slow units that you need to take care of, and if you have to retreat, you might lose them. So in that sense, the horse archers are great. But in terms of, you know, what they're actually providing in terms of you know, like, firepower, I'm not convinced that they are the greatest unit here.
Well, yeah, certainly not looking that good right now. As the knights go down, there's no front line, and Sir Schmeckles is able to chase that back. I mean, Komyn's still picking up some Vil kills. There's 2 knights actually in the base of the Abbasids that are really not being taken care of. 42 Vil kills. Sir Schmeckles, though, still with the villager lead. Komyn needs to keep putting this pressure on.
Oh man, there's even some scouts here in the berries fighting actually against the villagers right now. So they will eventually get the scouts down, but yeah, a lot of back and forth so far. I mean, both players like trading blows left and right here, and I would like, no disrespect, but I think you can see the difference here in terms of how good these players are, with Komyn being able to, you know, like open up multiple angles of attack, sneaking in a couple knights, killing some villagers in the back while he's fighting on the left side, and so, like, you know, like it's very difficult to keep track of everything that's happening around your base if you have multiple angles of attack, and so Komyn really utilizes this to his advantage.
Yeah, pressure on all sides. Schmeckles, though, has been able to defend throughout the game so far. It looks like Komyn's going to lose a lot more horse archers again in an engagement. Schmeckles trying to decap that sacred site, get the timer off. But that's not going to happen. Those handful of horsemen are going to clean that up.
Yeah, so for now he's gonna hold that position here. And the thing is, like, it hurts me to see how many villagers that Sir Schmeckles has lost already in this game. I mean, 47 is quite a high number. It's like half of the villagers that he has currently, so he would be at 130 right now, 35, if he hadn't lost them, of course. Oh, now the gold is gonna be attacked. That's gonna be brutal for Sir Schmeckles. He needs to react to that.
Yeah, a little delayed reaction there, getting the Vills off of the gold. Maybe focused on trying to decap the top sacred site now with a couple Gulam. But the Vills need to be pulled away. You can see the horse archers and horsemen and knights now looking for the Abbasid farmland. As a defensive keep is trying to get rushed up.
Yeah, he's
the
dropping
Abbasid army is behind.
Dropping an emergency keep in his farm transition. Yeah, he knows that this is his weak point. So the right side of the map is walled off fairly well, but this side of the map is gonna be exposed for a while still. I mean, he can put down some walls if he needs to, but it's not gonna be very easy. So that keep definitely will provide some safety for him. But yeah, it's brutal, and the thing is also, like, with all the passive gold income that the Rus have. By the way, Sacred Victory is still approaching. Like, so Schmeckles hasn't been able to. Okay, now he's been able to. He's still just one hero spearman. Look at the gold for Komyn. He has all the passive income right now. Only 4 on gold and still at 1,100 gold per minute income. So he could definitely buy his way into Imperial Age and then just come with some Streltsies or something like that. And then probably just close out the game. Dropping a keep here in the middle sacred site for now.
Yeah, he was doing this similar thing last game too, where notice by the end he was floating just so much of that gold. Yeah, Golden Gate still has a couple tickets. He can buy some food right now. Just keep, like, the military production up at this point. Try to get that overwhelming mass. Because Sir Schmeckles, army numbers anyway, definitely outmassing the Rus here. And looking for a push himself.
Yeah, I mean, like, in terms of army composition, like, he has all the right tools at his disposal at the moment. I mean, the spearmen countering the knights and the horsemen. He has some archers. He has some gulams as well. He has some crossbows, archers on his own. So that in general, like, he can deal with this army quite effectively. And now he's trying to push into the base for Rus and try to find some damage here. Military production on the left side pretty exposed, so this could be a good angle of attack for him as well, but he's currently just trying to fight underneath the town center. There's no villagers garrison, so that's at least something for him. But
yeah, this is a pretty odd fight.
Yeah. I mean, numbers are dwindling. At the same time, he does have all the range still intact, and Komyn is losing most of his army by now.
Kind of wild. I was not expecting Schmeckles to actually get this kind of pressure up on Komyn. I mean, he never really dropped down in Vill count, like beneath Komyn at all, even though he lost 76. And look at this. There's just no defense. I mean, Schmeckles needs to stop messing around in front of that TC and find some of this economy.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a wooden fortress and then one TC and there's the secondary one, another wooden fortress, but I mean, not in terms of like dealing damage, it's not really doing a whole lot here. And now the thing is like he's on the wrong side of the map in terms of like where are the villagers at and where he can actually deal damage. So I think he should camp the production here on the left side, maybe get the villagers off gold here, and then try to restrain Komyn from massing up his military. Because right now he is bleeding units, he is slowly, you know, the numbers are slowly dwindling, and so slowly but surely I would say it is going back into Komyn's favor. Unless, is there something, I mean, okay, he is getting some reinforcements again, so could potentially try to ram push his way into the win here, into the victory.
Yeah. Well, Komyn's just trickling in those archers. It's not doing really anything. Schmeckles can stay on that wood line while he masses in the front. Komyn on 5,000 gold that wasn't spent.
I was gonna say like 5,000 gold and he's losing the game. He couldn't produce anymore. He was running out of units. He was running out of resources except for gold. Oh my, what a comeback. I mean,
yeah, Komyn just kind of threw that one away, not figuring out his macro there.
Yeah, definitely.
And then by the time the Abyssins were able to push in, he just did not have the units to defend. All of those resources just floating.
Yeah, so I really think that he wasted too many knights and horse archers, because I mean he did have the military at some point, and then he just slowly gave it away and had to, you know, like go for some cheaper units, maybe sprinkle in some horsemen as well. Even though he had the gold, I don't really know why he went for the horsemen in this position. And then yeah, at some point it just exploded for the Abbasid, who, I mean, yeah, like they did lose a little bit more, but I mean, in general, in terms of eco, it was still looking fine. And then, yeah, just exploded, and then it went way downhill in a matter of like 2 minutes or so. That was like very, very impressive by Sir Schmeckles taking this one, evening out the score 1-1. I think in the very beginning of a game, it's super, super important to, you know, like to spend your resources correctly. Like in that stage of the game, it maybe is less important, and you maybe even want to like save up a little bit for a rainy day. But that was definitely too much for that storm that was coming by Sir Schmeckles. So very good comeback by Sir Schmeckles, biding his time, just massing up the eco and then just clapping back when he could. And now we're moving into the last game on Dry Arabia in this best of 3 series. Starting off with Sir Schmeckles in orange, playing the French against Komyn with the Order of the Dragons. Or Dragon, rather. It's one dragon. And we're gonna see some... Okay, now I was hoping for some proxy barracks, but it's actually gonna be on the deer pack. So very, very aggressively taking the deer here in the front of the map, taking 3 deers already, pushing in the 4th one. So good micro here by Komyn. But at the same time also very exposed. So he has a couple, like 4 or 5 minutes maybe, and then he needs to have something as a defense here, because the French knights, they are gonna come.
Yeah, that is so far out in front of his base. I mean, I see this on Marshland a lot with the Order of the Dragon.
Yeah.
But yeah, the time is there. I mean, Komyn can do this without being punished for, like you said, a few minutes. Also, if the French looking to go pro scouts later in the game, the dead deer are gonna make it so much harder to bring those corpses back. It's harder to shift click when the deer has already been killed.
Yeah, and also, I mean, like, they are gonna, like, it's a little bit that's like, you know, you take it and then your opponent also doesn't have it, so it's a win-win situation. Plus deer being, like, is it like, besides, like, shoreline fish and boar, it's the fastest scatter rate anyway, and so, like, you can see it gets depleted very fast by those 5 villagers, so he's gonna get up in food numbers quite fast here. And then we're gonna see what he's going to look for in terms of landmarks. So I mean, Order of the Dragon I think more often goes for the Minework Palace. I mean, we do have the option with the Aachen Chapel. Could see it here on the stone and on the berries, but more likely, I don't know, maybe on, yeah, maybe covering the gold and then the woodline if we're gonna see the Aachen Chapel. So I would probably like expect it somewhere here. But
certainly somewhere closer to the wood line. I think something
yeah,
a little more defensible, defendable, because the French are going to be coming in pretty soon. Just needs to get that last bit of food to get him there. Pretty interesting. Already taking those 2 vills onto wood right now. I think he could have got a faster age up with that School of Cav if those vills were gathering food at this point. Going up with 3? Okay, now 4.
now
I was a little confused.
yeah, so now it's a standard 4. He has 6 on food, so that's gonna be enough to keep producing villagers as well as to save up some additional food. So hopefully we'll able to immediately push out the knight as soon as it gets constructed. We do have the Aachen Chapel, okay, so not covering the gold, but so but then again it's like very
farm
close.
Transition Aachen. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Outpost coming up.
I would have loved to see it like here, like close to the gold. I would like inspire the gold villagers as well as you still have like all the wood line here. But then again, if you're having it on this side of the base, like the French can come in here, the French can come in here. Like it's really difficult. Like yes, you can wall it off, but at the same time, it's kind of difficult. With this one here, just wall it off here, like between the 2 wood lines, and then you're very safe underneath the Aachen. And you're having all the sheep still to work with, and so yeah, a good position. Outposts coming up as well.
Yeah, one of those things though, the French having a slower School of Cav coming up. Only using 4. I've seen a lot of French builds that have 5 on the School of Cav to get an early night out. That just lets Komyn take that deer safely for even longer.
Yeah,
Doesn't have to worry about a different source of food quite yet. I mean, the first night is now in the queue. Komyn should maybe start thinking about getting those vills to safety or having some sort of defense there.
yeah, he's not looking for a barracks.
Able to harvest that for a little longer.
Yeah, I mean he's not looking for. Okay, yeah, now he's pulling them back. So yeah, he knows that his time, his welcome has been overstayed here, and so yeah, he needs to retreat while the Royal Knight is coming out on the map as well. So a very good timing here for Komyn. He knows exactly like the timings that he can expect. And so even though it was a little bit slower age up for French, that would like in a normal timing that would have been the time where he needs to go back because the knight would already be here. And
yeah, this is a good little setup for Komyn. I like this little fast castle play. Taking that deer earlier to build up those food reserves. And he is not going to be far from castle at all. And taking a look at the order's base, I don't really see any good position for the knights to attack. Sheep are still... It's just down to corpses, I believe. But there should be enough food there to let Komyn get up to castle.
yeah, I think it's definitely enough for castle, and we do see the knight coming into on the middle here between the wood lines. But yeah, I mean that's like one angle of attack, but then you can just wall it off like very easily. And knight almost like almost like 3-4 quarters down in health. So needs to be careful here. Then there's the small wood line on the right. You can wall it off on the left and then on the right side. So in general, a very, very safe base to work with. And there's the Ragnus Cathedral, 6 minutes and 10 seconds. So a very good timing for Komyn.
Yeah.
I would say
Great
like
setup.
fast castle play, like play to perfection, especially with the deer. I really love the idea to go on the map, take it as long as you can, and then just retreat. Like yes, you're losing a little bit of walking time because of the distance, but you make up for that so fast because of the faster gather rate anyway.
Yeah, and you know, I shouldn't have doubted Komyn. We've seen basically fast castle in all 3 games, and he's gonna stick to that, do it again. And I mean, second game with the Rus, not as clean of a fast castle, but first couple of games insanely clean. This one especially. French, I mean, they're doing what they can with pro scouts right now to try to have some sort of eco advantage at this point. But it's gonna be rough. Castle's just about in. Order the Dragon will eventually be able to start making some units. Knights looking for the first couple kills. They're not able to find it, and Schmeckles might even lose a knight to the tower.
Ooh, that was a very close call. Yeah, I mean, like, he did get the charge off, but not a second hit. And yeah, now you can just take this one villager into the safety of his base, and then just heal it up at some point with the prelates. And I mean, the interesting thing is, like, the only reason why he didn't kill a villager and now he actually lost a knight is because of the gilded villagers having more health than regular villagers. And so that really saved Komyn here, which, I mean, I guess he kind of, like, you know, calculated with that too, but and then the scout taking the charge here from the knight, so needs to be careful here. Lost one knight, the other one is very close, like, yeah, hurt already actually, and so needs to be careful here. And didn't get a villager kill still, by the way.
Yeah, no, he's seemed super tunnel vision on that gold mine. When this, I mean, these vills on wood, way less protected.
Yeah, and then also the thing is, like, Komyn ran out of sheep, and as long as he can't make the farm transition, like, yes, he's on berries now, so actually if you would restrict him from getting wood, eventually you would starve him to death. And so the gold, like, yes, that is important, like, pre-castle age, but I feel like now actually the woodland would be the spot. Like, if you can hit here, or yeah, again, like, here on the berries, there's the one, like, villager that got almost killed already, so that would be a good angle of attack here. Now
just something that's not the tower over and over. It didn't work the first time. It didn't work the second time. You lost a knight the third time.
Well, I mean,
surely, you know what? The dragons get somewhere place else you can attack.
You know what they say. If you don't succeed the first time, try a second time.
Well, you know what they also say? Insanity in a definition is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
I guess you're right. Yeah. But I mean, speaking of insanity, we do have a couple knights here as well with the archers coming in. And one knight actually losing his life here, so yet again looking for a kill, not finding anything. He doesn't have... oh yeah, he is going for chivalry now, like, which is gonna be here in like 1.5 minutes, or yeah, 2.5 minutes actually. So it is gonna take a little bit more time for him to actually get it. And now he scouted out the prelate, and he's now looking to deny the relics. So 2 relics being taken in for Komyn at the moment. Where are they? So there's one.
We got one in a tower,
yeah,
and the second
tower,
one
yeah.
is... yeah.
Yeah, and Komyn currently only crossbows here, which is a very good comp actually. I mean, like, yeah, you can. I guess you can do it. I guess you can do it against the knight.
Schmeckles able to get his first Vill kill, finally. This game has felt pretty bad for the French so far. They still have bigger army numbers, but Komyn's going to continue to take relics. And Schmeckles needs a good engagement at some point to thin out this Order of the Dragon army. That mass of crossbows, though, it's just gonna rip through those knights. My goodness.
Damage! Oh my goodness, look at that damage, it's so insane. And now the prelate is gonna do his best to heal it up. And yeah, but he's gonna lose the prelate though. I mean, yeah, okay. So yeah, I mean, slowly but surely he is, like wiggling it down here, and he found the first villager kill after 11 minutes, so that is something. But I mean, yeah, like it's not looking too good for the French right now. 2 relics currently for Order of the Dragon, and
Yeah,
he also.
Schmeckles saving up for Castle right now, and he's gonna need that soon. Gonna need something to continue to, try to deny these relics. We do see another push, but those gilded crossbows make those French knights a joke. And now we see the
Yeah.
switch into gilded men-at-arms, and right now the French don't have an answer to that, so hopefully we see Castle come in very shortly for Schmeckles.
Yeah, I mean, like, usually French doesn't really need to go fast castle because they already have access to their Royal Knights in Feudal Age. But yeah, against Order of the Dragon, well into Castle Age for quite a while now. At some point, you do need to go into Castle Age yourself. Guildhall coming up, so no Royal Institutes, which means no early Royal Bloodline here for the Knights. But then again, I don't think that he wants to mass up on knights too heavily right now, and it's more looking into mass archers and then a couple of knights to be the front line and hopefully get a final kill in. Now
And
Komyn,
some arbs to deal with the with the gilded men-at-arms.
yeah, and then yeah, also the Abbasid trees. That could also be a good switch here. But he doesn't really have the gold income right now to sustain that, so he kind of needs to like either go for the knights or he needs to go for the arbs. And yeah, just they're melting the knights just in one volley. It's incredible. But good timing for Sir Schmeckles here to deny once again that relic. So I think it's like the 3rd attempt for Komyn to finally get that relic in.
And he's gonna do it now. We've got a relic coming over,
2 actually.
which will snag that one. So it's gonna be 4 relics to Order the Dragon. That 5th one far away. Schmeckles can take that. Hopefully he is able to get that monastery out and just secure at least one of those relics.
Yeah,
It is not looking good for the French right now.
No, I mean the thing is like he doesn't have the wood right now to go for a monastery, and then also it's I would say French are kind of notorious for not taking relics in a way. It's kind of like they're not interested in that sort of play. At least like I don't know any French main actually that goes for the relics early on. And so I don't think that this is gonna be in Sir Schmeckles' hands anytime soon. But we'll see. I mean, we do have the prelate walking over here. Is gonna get scouted out by the villagers. So,
well, the prelate's gonna scout out the vills too. I think that could be a little worse.
I haven't actually looked at it from that perspective. You're absolutely right. So, I mean, he does know that. Okay, so Schmeckles is either running out of gold or he just wants to take this one here. So this is definitely a great angle of attack. You just need 1 gilded man-at-arm here, and then you can completely disrupt this gold income. I mean, looking at gold, yeah, I mean the gold did run out. There's 1 gold over here, which is not walled in. And so definitely that could be a good option. But yeah, like both players scouted that out. French Knights is gonna find that actually. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
what a sneaky
They
prelate!
can barely see. They've got such a small vision range that the prelate can sneak around.
Oh, that sneaky prelate! It just went around. I mean, oh, that is beautiful. Like right on the edge of the map, and the knights they're like, where is he? I swear I just saw him earlier.
Well, I gotta hope that Komyn is thinking of going to Imperial sometime soon. Otherwise, it's falling into his old tricks with the resource float. But at least it is geared up. Taking a look at the macro and the resources per minute, it does seem like it's gonna be switch over to Imperial, and there it is, Palace of Swabia.
Yeah, there's the Palace of Swabia, and like I was gonna say, like it kinda looks like, or at least the last couple games, it kinda looked like yes, I'm going fast castle, I'm good at that, but okay, so what now? You know, and so like he is going for Imp now, the first Imperial Age by the way of the whole series we're gonna see. And Palace of Swabia, like yes, he did lose a couple villagers, not too much, but I mean, or not too many, but 5 Order of the Dragon villagers is gonna be quite a big dent into your eco, and so Palace of Swabia is gonna help you make up for that little bit of a eco damage that he received. Towers being emplaced with the
Yeah.
relics.
Schmeckles scouted out Swabia, and there's the notification to confirm. And because of those towers, he doesn't want to engage in right now. Dropping back, building some rams.
Look at the range vision.
Yeah, it absolutely insane, and that's after a nerf.
Yeah, I mean, although I guess the mill also kind of provides a little bit of vision here, but most of that is actually from, like you can see like here with the ray here, so the range here from the tower is actually quite notable.
Well, Schmeckles still has a window. He does need to try to pull some of the Order of the Dragon units outside of the base to just be able to engage him without the towers while he waits for the siege to come in. But there's not a lot of siege coming in. It is just one ram, and you take a look at the difference in income, in resources between the two players, and it seems rough. And Order of the Dragon's gonna get Tithe Barns with the 5 relics in the Regnants. Everything's going Komyn's way. Just got elite gilded crossbows. Gonna take his time a little bit longer and then push out and probably win this one. We saw some good defense from Schmeckles earlier. See if that happens again.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely did see that with the Byzantine game against Ayyubids, but at the same time, like the Order of the Dragon, I mean, it is so difficult once they mess up a little bit, and especially hitting Imperial Age and getting all the upgrades. It's so difficult to deal with them and to get like to shred them down, and we do have the perfect composition for that actually. So we do have the arbaletries, we have a lot of archers, and we have some horsemen knight mix in as well. So in general, this is like exactly what you want to have against them. But then again, like this also is exactly what you need in order to counter this one here. And so it really comes down to micro and who's gonna have the better numbers and technologies.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to micro for sure. Just 2 rams on that tower, and we'll probably see emergency repairs coming soon. One would imagine. I mean,
well, you need it now, that's for sure, because that's gonna that is gonna. Oh, it's so close. I thought it was too late actually. I actually thought it was gonna be too late.
Such an obnoxious tech. Goodness. Yeah, not going down just yet. Should have brought another ram.
I mean, the good thing for Sir Schmeckles is he basically would just need to, like, either he continues because now it just ran out, and it also is on cooldown for quite a while. So, I mean, he can just continue. The rams are still there. Now they're gonna get burnt down. But that is one less relic, there's one less tower here. And so, in general, like... Well, I mean, I was gonna say it doesn't look too bad for the French, but don't let anybody fool yourself. Like, this is so much value still. I mean, it doesn't look as much, but I mean, it's basically like 2 times the number of crossbows that you like usually would have, like twice as many. And so, with Order of the Dragon, like the numbers can really deceive you quite easily. And so, Sir Schmeckles lost a lot of army, most of his front line, most of his arbs, most of his archers. So, and now Komyn can just continue and push ahead, take the villages here, reclaim the deer if he wants to, reclaim the sacred, this is the relic. Get some range siege himself, torch down the keep, or yeah, trebuchet it down basically.
Yeah, French has gone 2 TC behind this. We got the keep coming up with the influence, gonna make those units a little cheaper. But yeah, Komyn can just make 2 more towers, put the relic in one of them, and it's It's not like he lost much of anything in that fight.
No, and I mean, like again, like he could try to get this one down here, build a keep himself, and then put a relic in the keep as well, because he has enough stone to actually go for a keep if he wants to. So yeah, definitely could be one of his options here to not let that happen here. The forward base with the keep and then the influence for the stables. Red Palace.
Red Palace drop.
Whoa,
Not gonna
my
be able to throw it down in that location.
Oh. Okay, so this is not gonna work because it's already in the palisade, so it's gonna get cancelled even if he could move in. But that would be such a ballsy Red Palace. Oh.
Well, I'm curious to see where he's gonna relocate that. I mean, you just put it on the outside of the palace, or sorry, outside of the palisade walls.
He could
Maybe cover
here.
that wood line as well. But where are those bills gonna go?
I mean, Komyn is able to see that happening, so he definitely knows about that. Again, the tower, as well as here the palisade wall, giving us just a little bit of vision. So he knows that this is gonna happen. And now, yeah, he's moving in. He does not want to have a, like, nobody wants to have a Red Palace in your face like that.
Yeah, it's crazy the cannon from that tower able to range the Red Palace from there. Horseman, though, able to jump out the crossbows.
Yeah, Horseman.
I don't think the palace is going to be stopped.
No, I mean...
He's going to go up.
He could go. Like, I would say he could still go in. Like, he got clean. He got the Horseman clean, so that's the most important thing for him. Yeah, but he's not going to stop the... Sorry, let's go back to the regular view. So he's not gonna stop the Red Palace. The Red Palace is gonna deny the gold here. Is gonna deny the wood line, and those two as well. So this is quite a difficult position for Komyn to be in. Like, your gold is getting denied completely. Yes, you can still go to this one here. Not to mention that, yeah, now Sir Schmeckles has access to Imperial Age, so he could look for some. Yeah, he doesn't have a university yet, of course, but yeah, could look for some royal bloodlines here as well.
Yeah, getting elite horsemen right now as Komyn commits to the crossbows. Yeah, it does suck losing that gold, but there's another gold outside his base that he's going to. He still has 2 sacred sites and 5 relics of regnants, so gold not going to be too much of an issue for Komyn. Also has 95 bills, 95 gilded bills versus just 105 regular villagers for Schmeckles. The eco certainly in Komyn's favor. He's not at the point where he is floating gold anymore. He is spending, and now he's getting the siege necessary to deal with a Red Palace.
Yeah, so 2 traps here already. Should be enough to slowly but surely deal with that. I mean, yeah, the villagers, they can just repair it, but at the same time, like, it will cost a lot of resources still. And the thing is, like, once you lose the Red Palace, like, you're never gonna get it back. Like, this is gone for the rest of the game. So Schmeckles is trying to breach in on the right side. There's only palisade wall, so he could fairly easily torch down the palisade, but the villagers also repairing
Normally, yeah.
Yeah. But now
they were holding for a while.
Yeah, but the ARP's also now coming in and easily able to snipe away the villagers, and now Komyn needs to react to that, relocate his army as well.
Yeah, army coming over. But you got the horsemen from Schmeckles looking for any vills. They were all pulled away. And these elite horsemen gonna just shred the arbs. We'll see if he can bring them back inside Red Palace range, though.
I mean, he's trying to lure them in, and now they're at the border of the range. So eventually they will be in range of the Red Palace. Meanwhile, the horsemen are still there, but crossbows are dealing with that. So, unfortunately for Sir Schmeckles, there's nothing here in terms of eco to really deal damage to. So it was a good distraction in a sense, but at the same time it didn't really provide a lot. And yeah, while all of this was going on, the Red Palace did get destroyed, and yeah, so like if you're looking at stone, like Komyn could just drop a keep here, or maybe like even here in the front, and then that would be like gone for the rest of the game for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I said it in other games. I don't know what the French could do here to realistically come back against all this, but Schmeckles did hold on in the previous one. I just don't know if that's going to be the case in this current game here. He's in a lot of trouble, and the economy of the Order of the Dragon is just massive. And able to continue to just get units out onto the field, after once he starts losing units. I mean, he's got them in production, in queue. He's getting all of his techs. It just doesn't seem good for the French.
No, definitely not. And the thing is, like, I would have said, well, I mean, what French can do is try to bleed out their opponent, but that's kind of difficult to do if your opponent is Order of the Dragon sitting on 5 relics and 2 sacred sites, having a gold income of more than 2,000 per minute, and you're sitting at like 700. That doesn't feel good as French. I mean, one of the reasons why we see so many horsemen here is because there's a lack of gold. And so, yeah, no royal bloodlines anyway, which would be really nice as well for the horsemen too. But yeah, like, there's not really a whole lot what you can do here. As a French, you're just lacking the army, and yeah, mainly because of the resources. I mean, there's just nothing there here. Keep getting destroyed. There's no stone here anymore, so you couldn't repair it either way.
Yeah, it's going to be a slow push out from Komyn again, playing really, really carefully in his pushes, it feels like, to close out the game. Taking it kind of slow, always giving Schmeckles that little bit of breathing room. We'll see if he actually commits to a pushback all the way into French territory here, or if he's going to wait for some reason. I mean, he's pop capped, so now's the time to engage and deal damage.
Yeah, I mean, he is respecting his opponent, and he did lose a game against those Schmeckles already, so I mean, it is quite, you know, in a sense, it is fair to respect that and be like, you know, listen, I think I'm way ahead, but I'm not 100% sure, because I mean, the last time that Komyn saw the base of Sir Schmeckles is probably like 20 minutes ago, and so he doesn't know exactly what's happening there. And so it is quite, you know, like the safer strategy to just play it safe and just don't overextend, don't overcommit. Because I mean, you hate to lose a game after you played it well, just because you made a stupid mistake because you thought you had it in the bag.
Yeah, for sure. But I think with that victory, with that little hold there by Komyn, not letting those elite horsemen do anything, I think he's now content with the push into the French base. Slowly clearing out the production. A couple of mangoes, though, are able to come out, so it could be some damage on the gilded crossbows, but they will be spotted by the horsemen of the Order of the Dragon, so mango's not going to be able to get any shots off.
Yeah, so that was difficult to lose all the resources that he spent here. Now you're just losing his position, also the farm position here in the front. So just a lot of damage that Komyn is almost passively, you could say, dealing to Sir Schmeckles here, just by the way of pushing out. And you can see like the crossbow shot here from the town centers because of the Red Palace is doing a lot of work, but it's not gonna be enough this time.
No, not at all. Yeah, Komyn now moving in, taking the game, taking the series, going 2-1 in his favor. Great fast castle timing on this map here. Really denied the French from doing any damage to him in the early game, and just able to kickstart his tech and economy with that fast castle into regnants.
Yeah.
Ran away with it.
Yeah, I mean, it is like he tried to do damage just as you like to do as the French, but just wasn't able to find any damage there. And then it was just not enough, and then you have like a pretty fast Imperial Age as well for the Order of the Dragon, and then you run in with your Castle Age army and it just got completely demolished. I mean, I think this was basically game because like, yeah, if you lose so
Yep.
much, like this just sucks. Like in a
Yeah.
sense, it would be like, and then like just like 2-3 minutes later, he went Imperial Age. So in a sense, it would have been better to like hold your ground because he wasn't forced to fight in that position. And then go Imperial Age, get your upgrades in, and then start at like 24 minutes maybe. Then you start fighting, and then like you would be at like 70 units, and your opponent is like 30, which is 60 for all of the dragons, but still, so it's like 70 to 60, and then you have a real shot at actually winning. But this way, it's like you basically didn't even dent his army in. So, but it's a call that you make, and sometimes it's good, and sometimes it just doesn't work out.